Yes, good morning, Janice. It's
Good
good to
morning.
see you. How are you today?
Hey, I'm not okay. I'm sorry to just jump in like that. This past week was definitely a lot, and I'm still feeling very anxious and afraid.
Okay. So I'm so sorry to hear that. Can we do a mood check to discuss your anxiety
Sure.
inventory? And I know you filled one out while you were waiting to join our session.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Just to remind you, we do this check-in to help me gather information on how your anxiety symptoms are changing, whether they're getting better or worse. And it allows me to know if our treatment plan is working or if there needs to be changes to help you better manage your anxiety and your PTSD. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today?
I would have to say about a 4.
Okay. So the last 2 weeks, you were at a 6. Did
Mhm.
something happen this week that caused you to have a lowered score?
So on Saturday, I had went out for a walk, um, to try to start exercising again, and there was a lady and a couple, and they were staring at me.
Hmm.
And I had realized that my shirt and my pants, the workout clothes that I had on, was really tight.
Hmm.
I thought they might have been laughing at me. So I went home.
Hmm.
I was crying. I just,
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. It must have felt like a lot. In that moment, were you able to calm yourself?
yes, yes,
Okay, you were
I
able to
was.
get home safely?
Yes, but I just felt so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so each week that we do this, we have an agenda. Would you
Mhm.
like me to put this on the agenda for us to talk about today?
Yes.
Okay, let's call this event People Are Staring, okay?
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else that happened this week that you would like to discuss? It could be something good.
Well, my cousin did have her baby. It was a boy. She had invited me to come see him.
That's good. Congratulations to your cousin. That should be
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah.
You guess. What are you not sure about?
Whether it would be a good or bad experience.
Can you explain just a little?
Sure. So I'm not sure how I would feel.
Hmm.
I mean, I want to see the baby, of course,
Hmm.
but I don't want anyone else to see how fat I've got. So just thinking about that alone, it does raise my anxiety.
Okay, so I understand now why you're not so sure. How about we call this cousin invite, and I'll check in with you a little later to see how you feel about it, if you resolved, if you feel good or bad about it, and if we can fit it into our schedule at the end of our discussion. But if not, we can add it to our agenda for next week. Okay?
Okay, can we definitely talk about it next week? Because I'm already feeling very overwhelmed.
Absolutely. So, just for this week, just to sum it up, can we say that these two events cause you to score kind of severe on your Beck's anxiety scale because you came in at a 38, which is considered severe?
Yes, like thinking about this week is like really upsetting.
Okay, so for our agenda for today, we're gonna discuss People Are Staring because that was very upsetting. And we'll go over your homework assignments. You had coping cards and thought records to complete. And we'll also do something new, which I want to just teach you about the 7 column thought record. Initially, the thought record that we did was 3 columns, but this 7 column thought record will expand on it a little bit and it adds a positive component to your thoughts. And then I'll get some feedback from you. We'll create an action plan for next week, and then we'll see how that goes. Does that sound doable for you, or is it a bit much? Because I know you're overwhelmed.
No, that sounds doable. I mean, I don't know how positive I can be though. Like I said, this was a really bad week, but I will definitely try.
Okay, so just really quickly, the symptoms of your heart pounding and racing, Was that due to you having that experience on your walk?
Yes. So I was already upset after the lady was looking at me funny.
Hmm.
It threw off my entire day.
Hmm.
Um, I went home, I ordered food, I ate everything.
Hmm.
And that's like it's like that's why I will never lose weight. Like I can't even exercise right anymore.
Okay.
I
So
just
you had a couple of distressing events this week and it caused you to feel anxious and now you feel like you'll never lose weight. Okay. So just now you just mentioned an automatic thought, so let's address these. Did you do your homework with your automatic thoughts? Um, and did you do your homework with your coping cards? We can start with the coping cards. I know you kept them in an app on your phone, and we developed 13 phrases that could help you when you're in stressful situations.
yes, so I did, and that is how I was able to calm down enough to get home after I felt completely embarrassed and scared.
Okay, so can we discuss a few that really helped you in that incident?
Yes, let me get my phone. Um, so um, the one I read a lot at first was God doesn't want me to live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
I probably said that about 5 times or so. And then I read there are good people in the world and in this community.
Mm-hmm.
I also read good things happen to me, and I can do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, I read I won't let other people's feelings define me.
Okay, I'm so glad that those helped. Those are the ones that we put down relating to dealing with upsetting experiences.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually regrouped them after our second session so that I can read them based on situations.
Okay. And what about the thought records we've been working on around your automatic thoughts?
Yes. So, for what happened with the people looking at me, even though I calmed down that day enough to get home, I still was pretty upset.
Okay. Do you want to do some breathing exercises right now to help you regulate your nervous system?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. So keep in mind that your treatment plan can be updated if necessary, but since you're ready to move forward and review the three-column thought record in preparation for the seven-column thought record, we can go ahead and do that, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right. So I'm looking at what you completed about the people staring situation, and this
Hmm.
looks pretty good. You remembered that automatic thoughts just pop up when an event occurs and could be negative because you have negative feelings. So I'm just going to jot down really quickly what you already have here. On Saturday, you went walking in a local park nearby. You started exercising again and noticed that a woman and another couple were staring at you. So we're going to put that in the situation column. Okay.
Okay.
So I have a question for you for the
Mhm.
automatic thoughts column. What was going through your mind just before you started to feel upset?
That I am disgusting because I'm fat.
Okay. And that was your main thought?
Yes.
Okay. You have any other thoughts?
Yes, that I'm that I'm too fat for my workout clothes.
Hmm.
And that everybody is staring at me because I'm fat.
Okay, so you felt I'm disgusting because I'm fat. I'm too fat for my workout clothes, and everyone is staring at me because I'm fat. So I noticed here that you listed your emotions, but you didn't list the intensity of your emotions. Can we do that now?
Yes.
Okay, so you listed that you were disgusted about what percentage were you feeling disgusted?
100%.
100%. That's
100%. Yeah.
really high. Okay, and then you have ashamed. What percentage?
I feel like ashamed was about 80%.
Okay, and anxious.
Um, I would say 70.
And you also said you were embarrassed.
80 also for embarrassed.
Okay, so we have here that we've worked through the first three columns of the seven-column thought record. These three columns reflect the three-column thought record, but now we're going to expand and we're going to go in and talk about the others, okay? So This process will cause us to examine the evidence for your main automatic thoughts and against your main automatic thoughts, and then
Hmm.
we'll come up with an alternative thoughts that can replace your automatic thinking. And then at the end of all that, we will re-rate your initial mood intensity on the situation. It does take some practice, but we will work through it together to start, okay?
Okay.
It's really good to restructure your thoughts from negative to positive. And of course, you might still have negative thoughts or upsetting thoughts that pop into your head when things happen, but this way you'll have the skill set to work on a method to combat them. Okay?
Okay. This sounds interesting.
Okay. So we're gonna fill in this new form. And so in the fourth column, we're gonna talk about some evidence that supports that triggering thought of I'm disgusting because I'm fat.
Okay.
All right. So can you think of anything that confirms that thought?
For the triggering thoughts about me being fat,
Yes.
yes. So I've gained 35 pounds.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down you've gained 35 pounds. Anything else?
Part of my belly was out.
Okay, part of your belly was out. Have any more?
The lady and the couple were staring at me.
One lady and couple were staring. All right. I know this sounds a little repetitive, but anything else?
I think the only other thing is I was huffing and puffing immediately when I started walking.
Okay. Puffing and puffing and starting walking. All right. So you have some evidence here that you believe supports your automatic thought of you being disgusting because you're fat. So let us now look at evidence that doesn't support the triggering truths. I'm going to ask you one question just to start you off. Do you know anyone with a bigger body that you don't consider disgusting?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what could that mean for you?
There are beautiful, smart people who with bigger bodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So put this down. There are beautiful, smart people with bigger bodies. Okay. And just like a medical question, really quickly, off the top of my head, what is fat used for in your body?
I mean, it's stored fat is usually to fuel your body.
Okay, so your body can store fat as fuel. And just thinking about the people that you know and that you love,
Mhm.
are any of them like different body sizes or do they all have like the same body size?
I mean, I have friends and family of different sizes, who
Hmm.
I love and I don't find disgusting.
Okay, so I have friends, let me know if I'm saying this right, and
Uh-huh.
family of
Different.
different sizes
Mm-hmm.
who I love and
Don't find this.
don't find disgusting.
Hmm.
Okay, so that was really, really good. We found some evidence that doesn't support fat and disgusting, right? Um, Beautiful, smart people with bigger bodies exist in this world. Your body uses fat as fuel, and you have friends and families that you love that are different body sizes, and you don't consider them fat or disgusting. Okay? So now let's think of some alternative thoughts that we can have instead of thinking of that triggering thought, or thoughts that you can think of to replace that triggering thought you have feeling disgusting because you're fat. Okay.
Hmm.
So, is there anything that we could think of now that we know that there are beautiful and smart people in the world and your body uses fat as fuel and you have family members that you love that have different body sizes? Is there anything at all that you could think of?
I guess it would be that my weight doesn't determine my worth or my beauty.
Okay. And how much do you believe that?
We're doing percentage again.
Yes,
I would say 75%.
75%. Okay. Any other thoughts you could think of about it?
I guess that my body can lose weight.
Your body can lose weight. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
What percentage do you believe that?
90. I'm at a 90% with that
90% of that. Okay. Um, and anything else you could think of?
one. There are more than one body type, as we've as you've helped me point out, which
There
I
is
believe 100% because we
there is
pointed it
more
out.
than one body type.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And
I
how
think I
much
have
do you believe that?
that there's more than one body type, 100%. Because
100%.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
nice, good number. Okay. Anything else before we finish this column?
I think um
Were there anybody else at the park?
well, there were other people at the park, and I was
Mhm.
going to say that, and they weren't looking at me.
Oh, so there wasn't just four people at the park. There were
Right.
more.
Yes.
Okay. And they weren't just looking at you. So I'm gonna jot this
Right.
down. And how much do you believe that?
A hundred
A
percent.
100%.
Yes.
Okay. So your weight doesn't define your worth or your beauty. Your
Yes.
body can lose weight because you've done it before, right?
Hmm.
Because you were very fit for a while.
Right.
And there is more than one body type. We're all in different shapes and sizes. There were other people at the park who were not looking at you. And you
Yeah.
have really strong, every single one of these are above 50%,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so look back at column two where you said you were disgusted and ashamed and anxious and embarrassed. Let's look
Hmm.
at those again, okay? So if you
Okay.
were to think about all these new thoughts, how
Okay.
disgusted are you right now?
I guess 25%.
25%. That's markedly low, okay?
Yes.
And,
Wow.
and what about ashamed?
Um, 30%, I would say.
30%. That's
Yeah.
down from 80. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
amazing,
wow. Yeah.
okay? And how about feeling embarrassed?
Um, now I would say 20%.
20%. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That is down. Let's see.
Oh,
Wow. 60, that's
yes.
down 60%. Okay. And what about anxious?
I would say for anxious, um, about 40%, I would say.
40%.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's down 30%, right? And now everything in this column, when you re-rated your feelings and you re-rated the moods, you
Hmm.
went down to everything is now below 50%. So, do you see how just restructuring the way you think about things, we feel one way, we think something, we feel something, and then all of a sudden our moods and our attitudes and our actions change to something negative. But when we think about it in a different way, we look at the truth of what's going on, our thoughts and our patterns can turn into something positive. We can smile a little, we can
Yeah.
laugh a little. And it's not going to always happen like that. There are some times
Right.
it's going to be a bit more difficult, but it is very, very it's very possible for you to
Yeah.
change the way you think about a
Yeah, that was
negative
amazing. That was amazing.
evidence, right? A negative.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel today? Because you said your mood this week when you came in was at a 7, at a 4, I'm sorry.
No, uh-huh.
How do you feel today now on a scale of 1 to 10? What is your mood now?
It's funny because I would actually say a 7.
Okay, so I
Um,
kind of, that's awesome. Okay, so
yes,
a
absolutely.
7.
Yes. But what if I start feeling bad again?
Okay, so if you start feeling bad again, then you pull out this form and you can read it, right?
Mm,
And you
mm,
can go back through and you can say, this is how I felt the last time this had a situation. And
mhm.
I realized that I did not have to remain there. I started thinking about truths that I can identify with, and now I feel better. Okay?
Okay.
Can you do that though every time you're going to exercise just to kind of get your mindset right?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Okay, so I'm just going to summarize because we're kind of near the end of our session, and we
Okay.
already said that we're going to put your cousin's invite with the agenda for next week.
Right.
Okay? So for this session, we discussed very briefly your anxiety scale, the Beck's anxiety scale, and it being very severe. And you had a lowered mood because of two events that occurred, one which was really triggering, and one that you just weren't really sure about. And then we also put on the agenda that you were going to discuss your coping cards, and we did that. You used five of them in that situation, and you did practice your three-column thought record, and you did really good with that. And then we just practiced together the seven-column thought record. Okay. And then at the end of all of that, your mood went from a 4 to a 7. So we raised your mood, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for next week, I do have some homework for you. Okay.
Okay.
You did pretty good this week. So I want you to continue using your coping cards.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to continue writing down your automatic thoughts and doing at least a three-column thought record, but I want you to practice and try the seven-column thought record. And it's in the email that I sent you, so you'll be able to print that out and have it to write it in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I want you to continue working on your goals because I can see your progress. I know it took a lot for you to go out and start walking again. And even though you had a negative experience, as we look back at it, we can see that it wasn't all bad, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. So, do you think there will be any obstacles to you being able to do your homework?
Well, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Um, I have to think through how I want to proceed with walking outside.
Hmm.
Even though I do feel better today with walking outside, I'm
Hmm.
still kind of anxious.
Okay. Is there someone that can go with you? Maybe a friend?
Um, I'm not sure. I haven't really spoken to anyone other than my cousin and my brother.
Okay, so can we add that to our goals for next week? We can do some role playing to see how it might feel to call a friend. And that will be what we work on next week. But for this week, part of your homework could be for you to think about who you could call,
Okay.
okay? Who you might want to call. So I'm gonna
Okay.
write this down for your homework, okay?
Okay.
All right. Um, do you have any questions right now?
No, not that I can think of, but can I email you if I do have one, if one comes up?
Absolutely, yes. All
Okay.
right, just really quickly, do you have any feedback for me about today's session? If there's anything that you liked or didn't like, or maybe you might want to add?
I mean, I think today went really well. I was really excited to see how quickly and easily I was able to reevaluate how I was feeling
Mm-hmm.
and look more on a positive side
Yeah,
and how that affected how I was feeling about being anxious and embarrassed and all of that. So I feel like today went really well.
that's really, really good. Now, please don't feel discouraged if it doesn't happen that quickly the next time you try it, okay?
Okay.
This is a practice. It takes some time to learn how to do this and for it to stick in your head, okay?
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much, and I
Thank
will see
you.
you next session, okay?
All
I'll see you
right.
next week.
See ya. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye bye.